Hello guys, what is up? Infert here. I hope you all are having a great time. Today we'll be reviewing some of the changes made in patch 3.2, specifically to Sims and Barren Lane in general. This will be different to some of the videos I made, so if you have something to add to improve my content, then feel free to share it in the comment sections below. Alright, let's get into it. First off, I want to say that this patch is pretty good. We have good new items, new rooms, new changes in the rift. The new words is helpful to scan some of the pesky trouble lurking around the rift, and to counter some of the new champions will be released. It's a bummer that we can only have one word available, but it's still a welcome addition. There's also the new remake system. I think it is the most requested feature on Wild Rift due to the amount of AFKs are in the game. Hopefully this change will ease everyone out to reach Challenger. And also the new objective spawn timer is here. Yeah, they changed the dragon spawn to 5 minutes instead of 4. That one extra minute is very crucial for Barren Laners. This means we have enough time to farm 1 or 2 waves to complete our first core item. Since needs this because I can't count how many times I'm 100 goals off to buy Rylai. So I have to decide whether to fight without the slows or be late at objective. This is a good change. Okay, now let's talk about the items. The big boy Rylai's buff is here. This will be my default first item from now on. They gave it 30% slows to match with the AD counterpart, the serial dead rage. Now with the extra 10% slows, Sims can kind of run away much easier. Of course, you would still need a proper spacing, but the extra slows is demoralizing for your enemies. I can say that for sure because since when they got my slows, they always stop chasing me. Another change for AP champions is the Void Staff and Infinity Orb. So they want to buff these items so people will stop buying the usual Dudens into Rabadon. Personally, Void Staff and Infinity Orb isn't a second item for since we still need Rylai and Leandri to be actually relevant. There are still other defensive items we still need to buy to sustain team fight. This might be a good last item pick, but depending on the game time, I think the changes is not enough to see the item in play. One thing that caught my interest in the item changes is the Ixtali Seed Jar. So they removed the armor and magic resistance stuff and gives us ability haste and health. But the real buff is the movement speed it gives when you pick up a seed. This will add more skill expression for since I can use it for engaging or disengaging. I'm fun to support items, and this one in particular might be worth to try. It's a good item if you love to roam a lot. You will need this. Also, they reduced the anti-heal item price. It gives us easier access to Grievous Wounds so that we can counter Mundo or Soraka much quicker. Again, this is a good change. Well, maybe not for Soraka, but who plays Soraka? Am I right, fellas? Alright, now let's get into the rune changes. Overall, there's no new big change for Since with the new keystones. We probably would still go for the usual Aftershock or Conqueror depending on the match. The big keystone addition is Lethal Temple and Kraken Slayer. It's a good addition, but there's no use for Since to use it other than being a meme build. There's also Fleet Footwork is adjusted. Now they gives less healing, but gives more mana in every autos. I'm still not so sure about this one yet. Fleet Footwork is used on mid lane since in pro play. But the reason you use it is to sustain long enough in mid lane versus all the mages. The mana regen addition is nice, but you will need to auto the enemy champion, which then will trigger aggro and stuff. Personally, I don't auto that much, so I'm still not sure about this change. What do you think about this change for Since? Is it good? Fleet Footwork is probably a buff to mana ADCs like Jhin or Vayne. They would need that extra mana in laning, but for Since, not so much I suppose. Demolish is the new rune added for Split Pusher. This gives you more damage to turrets based on your max HP, so the more HP you build, the more you can one-shot that turret. Since they already added Hullbreaker, I would see this item as busted and it needs to be tuned a little. But that's just my opinion though. We will still need to see how it impact games. I'm all for split pushing because it gives top laner more agency. It's also not a good strat to split push in Wild Rift due to its small map, so I really like this addition. The other runes feels mediocre. Nimbus Cloak gives chunks of movement speed after burning summoner spells. Pretty situational. Scorch is here too, but it feels underwhelming. I wouldn't swap Brutal or Triumph for this. Giant Slayer is good for tanks like Garen or Shen, but it only procs if they have 1000 bonus health. Meaning if they don't build at least 3 HP item, your rune will be useless, since bonus health and base health is a different thing. 1000 HP from items takes pretty long to build, maybe 10 or 15 minutes if I'm not wrong. Either way, you wouldn't get that 10% damage in early game, so it's a risky rune you have to take. Alright guys, that is all I can share for now. Thanks for listening my rambling nonsense for 5 minutes. Tell me if I'm missing out on something. And if you want to join the lab, feel free to join my Discord. We'll be talking about the builds and experiment stuff there. I will leave the link in the description below. Peace.